How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, remember a few days ago, I did this video right here. It says, Trump, your people is in deep shit. Is this fake news? So I'll make this a part 2. And I don't know how many parts this is going to be. But I was saying in this particular video that Manafort and Gates is about to give up the goods. Because they in deep ass shit. This ain't no fake news. Oh no. This ain't no fake news. So what I will do, my royal family, if anybody lost sight of the story a little bit, I will put this in the thread. I'll put the link there. You watch that one first and then you slide over and you do your thing. So anyway, let's show the guilty parties. Whoa! As the plot thickens. So, here we go. We got Manafort and we got Gates. They business partners. And Mullen is not playing. Let me see if we can find him. Oh, y'all see him in the video. I ain't gonna even trip. I'm not gonna trip. So anyway. Wow, there's some issues going on in D.C. and they bringing it. Now, I know Trump was real happy to have that distraction, but they are marching forward. Keep that in mind. Now, let's go back to, here are their names right here. So y'all can look at them real good. These fools. These two dudes is fools. They had everything that they needed, but greed got in the way. It sure did. It got in the way. So, Mullen, the prosecutor, then brought down a fucking sledgehammer. I mean, I am astounded how deep that they are going. They're coming for Trump. Trump ain't gonna be able to wiggle out of this. Now, I didn't shaped it up for you, my royal family. Let's check this first video out, because they ain't playing.
Evidence special counsel Robert Mueller is not letting up. Tonight, CNN has learned a Virginia grand jury has returned a new indictment against President Trump's former campaign chairman Paul Manafort and his deputy Rick Gates. There are 32 new charges, and they are separate from the charges the pair faces in D.C. federal court, including money laundering, failing to register as a foreign agent, and failure to report foreign bank accounts. In this new indictment, prosecutors describe a scheme where the two longtime business partners failed to pay taxes for almost 10 years and then used real estate they owned to fraudulently secure more than $20 million in loans. The indictment also alleges Manafort, with the assistance of Gates, laundered more than $30 million, income that he concealed from the United States Department of the Treasury, the Department of Justice, and others. The charges were announced just hours after Rick Gates was spotted leaving this D.C. federal courthouse. With this long list of new charges, it appears any plea deal from Gates may have fallen apart. CNN reported that Gates has been in plea negotiations with the special counsel's team for the past month. And if he pleads guilty, he could testify against Paul Manafort.
I think these lawyers are putting so much pressure on these guys with so many high stakes that the ultimate decision is going to be, I've got to protect myself and my family, and they're going to cooperate.
In addition to tonight's new charges, the Wall Street Journal reports Mueller's team and federal prosecutors in New York are also examining up to $16 million in loans to Manafort from Federal Savings Bank, a bank run by a former campaign advisor to President Trump, Steve Koch. The special counsel is reportedly looking at whether the loans were made as part of a quid pro quo. Manafort got the loans, and Steve Koch was promised a job in the Trump administration, while New York prosecutors are investigating possible money laundering. Both Manafort and Koch have not commented. Koch did not get a spot in the cabinet, but was a member of candidate Trump's Economic Advisory Council in August 2016. Manafort, who served as the Trump campaign chairman until he stepped down 3 months before the election, sought in the past to distance candidate Trump from Russian money.
So to be clear, Mr. Trump has no financial relationships with any Russian oligarchs.
That's what he said. That's what I said. That's obviously what our position is.
Manafort left the campaign amid questions about his lobbying work for the pro-Russian Ukrainian government and the payments he received.
Deep ass shit. Ooh, that is messy. Ooh, folks, that is messy. That's some messy shit. Ooh, that's messy. So, what they are doing, my royal family, is what I call divide and conquer. Because these two dudes was business partners. Now, I'm looking at it a little bit different now. Gates is the weak link. Manafort, oh, his shit is weakened. But I get the impression Gates is going to really spill the beans because they got so much to lose and they are throwing so many charges at them. See, when you follow that money, oh, that give a whole different picture. And these people deserve everything that they get. They didn't want to pay no taxes. Well, you know, they was doing what they daddy do, Trump. Trump skate around that shit. We know this. He ain't revealed his tax paperwork. You know, he let his lawyers throw so much shit in front of these folks that they just keep them binded up in litigation. So they think that they can do what Trump do. But I see how serious they is. And, you know, Trump want to continue to keep saying fake news. Oh, this ain't fake news. They following them coins. So anyway, let's put a little bit more of a spotlight on Rick Gates.
Russia investigation. A source familiar with the proceedings telling us that former Trump campaign aide Rick Gates is expected to plead guilty today, an indication Gates is cooperating with the special counsel. This comes a day after Robert Mueller filed a 32-count indictment against both Gates and former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, charging both men with additional crimes, with committing tax fraud, bank fraud, and allegedly laundering $30 million. All this while President Trump today has been giving a 90-minute off-script red meat speech to the annual Conservative Political Action Committee, a speech focused only partly on guns and his alliance with the NRA, and more in tune with a campaign rally than a presidential address. Joining me now, NBC's intelligence and national security reporter Ken Delaney and MSNBC political analyst Peter Baker, chief White House correspondent, of course, at the New York Times, MSNBC contributor Chuck Rosenberg, the former U.S. attorney and senior FBI official, and MSNBC political analyst Josh Earnest, former Obama press secretary, and Matthew Miller, former chief spokesman for the Justice Department. Welcome all. Ken Delaney, what do we know about the specifics of what Gates may or may not be pleading to and how this relates to the indictment yesterday?
Andrew, we don't have that information as yet, but typically in these situations he would plead to a limited number of counts, some limited conduct that would vastly reduce his prison exposure. And we believe this plea is happening in Washington, D.C. As you mentioned, there was another indictment handed down in the case yesterday in Virginia that charged a raft of new bank and tax fraud charges against both Gates and Manafort. Those could be waived under any kind of a plea deal. As would typically happen. The real significance of this is that Robert Mueller seems to be approaching this like he would prosecuting the Gambino crime family. He is trying to flip people up the chain, and it appears that he's flipped Mr. Gates, who was Paul Manafort's right-hand man, and this puts enormous pressure on Paul Manafort, who is already facing 15 years in prison under the existing indictment under federal sentencing guidelines. He's 68 years old. The pressure on Manafort now to consider a guilty plea would seem to be enormous, Andrea.
Wow. You talking about, ooh, man, they done got their ass in some shit. Like I said, how I look at it, divide and conquer. That's all that is. Wow. I didn't know that it was going to go that far. These folks ain't playing. And Trump could keep talking about fake news. That's how I'm going to title. I'm going to put Trump, your people is in deep shit. Is this fake news part 2? Because the saga keeps going on and on and on. And that, you know, like I said before, when they start digging around checking your paper game, that it gives a whole different picture. And Paul Manafort is a damn fool. He was set. All he had to do was retire. But no, he wanted to be a part of that Trump shit. And people that's a part of Trump is going to ruin them for life. That's exactly what they get. See, I'm going to show you the other part where the government is disingenuous. They know that they was laundering money. They all do this shit. They knew it. See, they'll lay back and let you do shit 10, 20 years. And then when you done crossed them the wrong way, oh, they bring down the motherfucking sledgehammer. White folks fight nasty with each other. So, these two business partners, and Gates, again, is the weak link. Manafort is under pressure. He's trying to reduce prison time. So let me go over here quickly. So Trump. These dudes don't want to spend a lot of time in jail. They about to sing like a canary. And Trump, your daddy, Putin, he ain't gonna help you. He got you by the balls. You know what's going on. Now, you gonna pull your shenanigans, and you didn't have to pull one lately because of the shooting that happened in Florida. So that was a distraction. But no, they are focused on coming after you. So you can continue, Trump, to keep saying this is fake news. You can keep playing that game. But it's just a matter of time. See, my royal family is all about having patience and letting the story unfold. And that's how I deal with, like I said to the royal family, that's how I deal with these. When I do videos now, I'll see something pop off. I say, okay, I'm going to give it some time. Let me see how it play itself out. So anyway, my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.